Hello, today we're speaking with Hector Rodrigues from Mexico and Mexico City. Hector is Senior Media Executive in Heart Media Services. Hello, Hector.
Hello, Vera. How are you? Thank you very much
Oh,
for the
I'm great and I'm missing Mexico. I was there 10 years ago and it's amazing place. So could you please tell me what Heart Media Services does in our pay TV industry?
Sure. So I come from pay TV, from traditional pay TV. I was on the commercial side of selling linear channels like 16 years ago. And 11 years ago, I started working with other companies such as AMC Networks and started developing products for the VOD world, right? And I had 3 years with Ubiquity between 2015 and 2018, and that opened my eyes of about the world of the OTT and how content and technology goes hand by hand on this ecosystems and this new world for content distribution, right? And in 2018, we started Heart Media Services with the vision of providing the market with everything they need to accomplish their goals in the OTT world, whether it's technology or services, or maybe some contents that people may not be able to acquire as easy or don't have the bandwidth or the contacts to negotiate some content, right? So we see the OTT world as this continuous cycle of technology, then content preparation, then more content, then again technology, and how the experience towards the customer exposes this content. So we've been representing companies of technology for the OTT world for the past almost 4 years now. And we've been rendering services to prepare the content to come to the OTT world, right? It's not an easy task because every distributor out there has their own formats, has their own way of doing things. And people think that, well, I bought the content, I paid the license, and now I paid all this money for the technology. Now I should be done, right? And they are far from it. It's a world of content preparation and juggling balls here and there, trying to accomplish the goal of launching an OTT service. That's basically what we do.
And who is your typical client?
My typical client are big OTT companies, have Paramount Plus and HBO, that has much complexity on preparing the content towards the OTT world, and much complexity in their own operations, or lack the amount of people or resources internally to handle all the flow of content they need to upload to their platforms, and ultimately some work that they don't want to do, or they don't have the mind space to do it. So we take care of those problems for them. That's our typical and most desired type of client right now.
And on your website, it is said that you start from consultancy. And what are the main steps for this consultancy? For example, let's say I'm a telco or broadcaster. I have pay TV platform. I came to you. And what stages of consultancy can I have in your company?
So it varies a lot, right? Of where you are in which stage you are. Have you already launched an OTT service? Have you not launched an OTT service? And what type of service do you want to build? If you're a telco and you want to aggregate different OTT services, which is trending right now, then of course we will have to start with the backend. How ready is your backend to support different integrations, and maybe creating, and maybe the idea here is to create a middleware to support all of those coming integrations with the HBO Max of the world and the Netflix and the Paramount Plus and Prime Video, etc., because each one of them will have a different traffic and a different layout and even a different customer experience. So you have to deal with all that. Once we've set what we want to accomplish in this consulting service, we come to a stage where we need to model the customer that you're going to be aiming for. Is it tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? What type of content do they already use? If you're a telco, you will have a lot of data out there in terms of how do you communicate with your customer and what they want to see, right? Or what they want to watch. So we aim our offer towards that specific customer. Also, we bring technology partners to help in this venture. For example, if you have a ton of data that you don't know how to handle, we can bring Jump TV Solutions as a partner to help digest all that data and put you in the track of actioning all that data. If you, for example, have the sorry, I'm gonna put this on sleep mode or do not disturb for an hour. So sorry for that. So if we have a customer that has, again, lots of data about different touch points with the customer, we can arrange a common goal with Jump TV Solution to come with the right data for you, the data set that you want to interpret, and then we help you with that interpretation. One other key element that we need to take care of is, well, what about this multiplicity of devices that you may want to target, right? You want to be on Apple TV or Samsung TV or Roku or Google TV. There are many platforms today, so we can help you or your customer, or in this case, this telco, to know which platform is best for them, and then best with the right partner to create the right set of apps for that specific customer again. So maybe if you're a telco, it's natural for you to know how many Android devices or Apple devices your customer have. So we will have pretty clear data of whether to invest first on Apple or Android, or maybe both, right? And then maybe a big screen, right? If that is your target, if that is the outcome of all the previous investigation we've made, then maybe it's a Roku device you want to be in, or a Samsung TV you want to be in, and we put you in the direction with the right partner or partners to accomplish that. So again, we're in the middle of this technology, content preparation, etc. And then we will have to be on top of how your content is prepared for this new project you have. Maybe you don't want to be, as, how can I say this, as perfect as Netflix in terms of customer experience. So you don't value skip intro and all those features, special features that they have, but maybe you do. And if you do, there's a good chance that your metadata doesn't tell you where those skip intro buttons go, right? When do they start? When do they end? And all that stuff, we can help you do it. We put people on the job to do it and to measure all those key elements that you need to have. So basically, that's a lot of complexity, but we can handle that. That's our life.
In which countries your clients are located?
So right now we're mostly for Latin America market. Our customers are mostly based in Miami, in the United States, serving the Latin American market. And most of their operations come from Argentina. So we deal with people in Mexico, people in Argentina, people in Miami. And most of our technology partners come from Europe. Jump is based in Madrid. Axido, in this case, as a partner, is based out of Sweden. And we have other type of technology partners that are all over the place, right? From Israel, we have good relationship with technology companies from Israel as well.
And what is the difference in terms of OTT market development between Latin America region, Europe, and United States?
I think if we have to summarize all the difference, I would put them in two buckets. The first bucket is how can I say this? The wallet share. Okay. The European markets and the US market, typically they have a media expenditure of about $80 per month per household. That is basically how much they spend in this sort of entertainment. Whether in Latin America, it's maybe half of that amount in most of the households, or even less than that. And that puts you in a very complex situation with this streaming wars, because you have a very disseminated offer of different services. You have Netflix, you have Disney Plus, you have HBO Max, you have Paramount Plus, you have Prime Video, and each one of them offer you something unique, right? But you cannot have them all. And if you are a niche, cinema niche fan, maybe you will have to buy even another set of apps or streaming services to fulfill your needs, right? That's where the aggregation is that it has a big opportunity for the future to come. Let's see how that plays out. And the other difference for me, that second bucket, is the availability of internet and internet connection. Right here in Mexico, less than 42% of the households have proper internet to reproduce proper or to have a proper customer experience in terms of streaming services. So that is a massive difference in terms of how ready we are for these streaming wars, and how and why also they are attacking the market so heavily with all this publicity and advertisement to go to a specific service to watch a specific content at a given time of the year. For me, that's the two key elements. And of course, there are derivation of the same thing. If you don't have enough money, then maybe your customer experience won't be as good as the services in Europe, because you don't have that much that amount of money to invest in your customer experience. And it's a little bit of a snowball effect that combines and touches many other things in the technology side.
And when clients come to you, for example, when they don't have yet a pay TV platform, or when they have some troubles with it, and you help them, or on which life cycle do they come?
Well, I have both, right? I have people that haven't launched yet, and they need the guidance of what, where, when to launch, and which platforms to use. And I've also came by some customers that say, okay, I bought this Toyota Corolla a year ago and it doesn't work as I wanted. What can we do? And maybe we have two ways or three ways. We have a way to improve that Toyota Corolla and make it better, or maybe we have to change or upgrade that Toyota Corolla to a Camry, or maybe we will ditch the Toyota Corolla and go for another option in the market. and just I'm just doing the comparison because for me a Toyota Corolla is a very good reliable car, not that
Yeah.
expensive. It doesn't cover the um all the things that many people want, right? And that's a fair comparison to this.
And what can be the future after OTT? Because we had IPTV, then OTT, and what could be next evolutionary step?
There are many, for me, there are many things going on. AR, VR,
Mhm.
or the combination of them, because it is the XR now. I think it's getting massive, and the people is starting to accept more of augmented reality. Virtual reality will always be a blocker. Will always have a blocker because you have to wear devices to immerse yourself into this virtual reality, right? But there are markets for that, and there are products for that. And the other thing is the metaverse. I think eventually you will get to a point where you won't have to leave home to have the real cinema experience in your home in the metaverse. You'll have, I don't know, popcorns delivered to your house before you watch a movie that starts at 7 p.m. on a Sunday, and you'll have all your family connected via VR glasses, and they will feel like they are in the cinema theater. But I still think there's a long way to go. Of course, we were a long way to go from the first smartphone to watching almost all the content in a smartphone, right? It was what, 8 years ago? It's a blink of an eye in this world. And to your point, um, when I started in this market 16 years ago, in this industry, we were just discussing digital TV, IPTV, and VOD, you know? And 2 years later, we were discussing HD. 4 years later, we were discussing 4K. A year later, we were discussing OTT. And now everything is OTT. Now we're discussing integrations and how to make a seamless experience for the customer. And maybe in 2 years, everything will change. A game changer will emerge from I don't know where and change everything for everybody. It's a matter of waiting and seeing. And this is the beautiful thing about this industry. It keeps changing, keeps evolving. Every 4 or 5 years, you see a major change in trends, and it's always constantly changing. I think a game changer will be 5G. 5G technology will open up the Pandora box for this market
Why?
to really
Why
the
it
five
will be game changer?
because it will remember when I told you that in Latin America we have less than 42% of households that are really equipped for
Uh-huh.
OTT. So 5G, everyone has a phone or a smartphone in their hands right now. So if you have 5G accompanying all those devices, then you maybe have an experience. You may have a good experience in OTT in your home, and that will, lower the barrier of entry for many, many people, at least in Latin America.
And do you visit any conferences, for example, IBC in Amsterdam or something similar in United States or Latin America?
Yes, this year we didn't have the chance to go to the IBC for many reasons. We were just starting two major projects in the company that had all of our attention, towards that. But we do visited NAB this year in Las Vegas, and Next TV Mexico recently last week. So we keep ourselves in touch with the market, and of course we're thrilled everybody's coming back to presence and to live events.
And what are the main trends that you recently detected on conferences?
Everybody's talking about fast channels.
Yes, 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 yes. Back to
Although,
advertisement.
excuse me?
Back to advertisement, which is horrible. Advertising
Back to
is horrible.
advertisement. Yeah. Um, well, but you know, there has been what 60, 70 years of TV backed by advertisement.
Mhm,
I think it's a niche or a market that we shouldn't overlook. Okay.
mhm,
Um, I do believe that it helps. I remember the two buckets I told you.
yeah.
I mentioned at the first bucket with the wallet share. I think it helps having a lot of fast channels where people can consume content
Mhm,
for free, right?
mhm,
But still, we have 42% internet or good internet penetration in this market. So we're still far from that, at least in Latin America. And the CPMs here in Latin America are like a third of what they are in Europe and the United States. And maybe when you do direct sales, maybe it goes up to 50% of what they are in the developed markets.
mhm,
But still, I think we are seeing a lot of movement towards that area. Everyone wants to explore that that consumption, and it's getting a lot of attention from everybody in Latin America. Televisa is investing in it with Televisa Univision, with VIX. TV Azteca has been investing in this for years. Now, aggregation companies such as Plex or Samsung TV, Roku channels, whatever, they all have some sort of fast channel offer. So for me, it's just wait and see. Of course, for us, for Hat Media, we have the opportunity to prepare the content for the fast market,
mhm,
to add the 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 tags or the ad tags, so the advertisement for a specific show is well engaged with the audience for that show, right? Now you have, yeah, the other thing is you have 200 channels now. You have to try to go with a specific um advertisement for a specific audience, so we can help in that process as well.
mhm. And can you tell interesting use case about one of your clients? For example, your client came to you, he had some problems, challenges, and you helped him to change the situation.
Sure. So we are a Swiss pocket knife, right? We have many solutions for many problems,
Mhm,
and that versatility comes from the fact that we're a small company filled with creation and spirit to go forward with different ideas and different points in time, right? With that said, and with that in mind, um, a customer came to us almost 2 years ago saying, okay, we have this problem to deliver content directly for this specific platform.
mhm,
The subtitles are not being ingested by the platform. We have
mhm,
something that we are doing not correctly, and they cannot ingest our subtitles. So we developed a software that converts any type of subtitle that comes through the door, and it changes it to the spec that the client needs, right? In the process, we detected a lot of um, QC failures in the content. So we started, correcting that as well, and we started doing proofreading to the subtitles. So it went from small to massive in a short period of time. And other customer came to us with the problem of, okay, we are a big company, we produce our own content, it's award winner, etc., etc. But in order to keep up with the market needs, we are buying content from different providers,
mhm,
and that creates a complexity because provider A gives you the content or provides the content in format A, and provider B gives you B format, and it all has to be standardized to a single format for this client to show the content. So what we're doing for them today is we're basically their lab, their content preparation lab, in terms of standardizing anything that comes up from different sources, different providers, anything, to their quality specs and to their tech specs, so they have the right channel, the right content, sorry. Another customer came to us with the typical problem of, okay, we have selected the platform, we have all this content here, and now we don't know how to operate all this stuff, and we don't know what to do and how to tackle our market. So we went there, we started a consulting service for about 2 or 3 months, and we told them, well, we sat with them for 5 weeks or so. We knew that we had to, investigate who their customers were, what they were proposing, what their type of products they wanted to launch, and everything else. So we came up with a set of recommendations of how to operate this platform technically, and how to operate the content in an editorial way, so their customer relate to the content itself, right? It seems trivial. Sometimes it seems to be, how can I say this, logical, right? That you know your customer, but you know your customer up to some point, and now you have the tools in your hand to really squeeze that offer, that content offer, and it's specific to your customer.
Yeah, it can be done via monitoring of data and data analysis, right?
Yes, and let's say 5 years ago, you only had ratings and TV ratings to operate with, and it was a really small sample of what the world was. It was like statistical sample of 1,000 boxes out there that gave you data. But now you have data of every person in every household, their age, their gender, their taste, what they do. And if you cross that with marketplaces outside of your data, what they buy, where they go, when they go. So you have a much more data. You can now pair, I don't know, soap operas with a specific target of 45 to 55 years old women living in a specific neighborhood. You can pinpoint that soap opera to that neighborhood, so it generates a spiral of mouth to mouth, and everyone is talking about that because you are generating that conversation. So we went and thread that needle with the customer for several weeks, and finally they came out with very recently with a very comprehensive offer, and that people is liking a lot. And it's not only because they had the technology and the content, it was a holistic solution for their OTT product.
And what is your favorite solution for data analysis? Because there are multiple instruments that you can use. What do you advise to your clients?
I've already mentioned Jump, right? From Spain. They have something unique in terms of they have they've been in the market for almost 5 or 6 years now. Most of the partners come from the OTT world, and they have a lot of knowledge of the TV market, right? So they have developed this solution that is really specific for the OTT and TV world. It's not something that you can apply to, I don't know, to oil and gas. It's something that you can only apply for the TV market. So it has churn reduction, it has marketplace studies, it has customer life value, customer lifetime, customer cycles of how you acquire content when it lands to your page. How long do they take from starting watching the service to actually pressing play to a content? Is it too hard to understand your service, or the content is right there? So they have recommendation engines um, that came basically as a sub product of all the data analysis. So I think that is, for me, that's the best option. It's all um, created for this specific market of ours.
And what is most challenging in your job?
Right now, I would say keeping up to date with everything that's going on.
Too much innovations. Yeah?
Yes, it's too much innovation, and sometimes the conversations are really scattered all around, right? Again, we're talking about VOD, but we're talking about SVOD, but we're talking about fast AVOD, which are not the same thing, AVOD and fast. So you have many ways of tackling different little problems, and that generates some uncertainty for me as an entrepreneur. But and sometimes I have to mute some of those conversations. For example, today I am on purpose muting everything that has to deal with fast channels, right? And not because it's not an attractive market, it's because it's still very noisy. There's no clear messages for me. That distracts me from all the other things that I do believe we have straight messages, we have experience, we can tackle some problems right now. So that is one of the things of how we behave in Hat Media. We try to, okay, you're doing the noise here and it's hype and it's intense and the metaverse and everything else, it's really attractive in paper, but I think we have more substantial things to take care of today, for example.
And is there something important that we didn't discuss, but which should be mentioned? Maybe we forgot to mention some important trends or challenges or problems or something which is going on the market.
I think we missed talking about content itself.
Okay.
I am in love with content. Personally, I am a fan of many of the main shows that are running out today in most of the big platforms. And I found lately that people is paying too much attention to critics and criticism about content, whether developing their own idea of if it works or not. And I give you a clear example of this. Rings of Power, the most expensive TV series ever created by Prime, touching a fan base for Lord of the Rings. And you have a lot of criticism out there saying, that it's a bad show or whatever. I don't know. Personally, I think it's well done. It's well prepared. It's well presented. Of course, it's a vanilla version of what came between two stories that no one ever wrote what happened between point A to point B in this specific story, right? And criticism comes so easy today. Everyone can launch a criticism on YouTube or whatever. So my recommendation to people is keep creating content as you want. Okay, if you believe in it, create the content. If it works, then fine. If it doesn't work, you will have a great lesson for the next show you present. But keep creating content. Don't be discouraged by the trolls and the critics, because again, it's too easy for everyone to critic and to present some bad comment about something they may not even understand, right? So that is basically my last message about content. Keep creating content. We love content. People, this is why we're here, right? If there wasn't any content out there, whether good or bad, we wouldn't have a job and we wouldn't have so much entertainment and so much passion for this job.
Well, thank you very much, Hector. I hope that in next interviews we can discuss what is going on in Mexico, Latin America, etc., and it's what's going on in the industry. So it was very interesting, and I wish you an amazing day, because now you have morning in Mexico.
Yeah, it's 11:09. It's just starting.
Oh, it's great. Okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Vera.